Thank you, Anika. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining on time. Hope you all are having a great evening. If you want to grab a cup of tea or coffee or just pure water, just have it in between. Sit comfortably. We'll start in another 1 minute. So I request everyone, if possible, to turn on your video and come alive in this session, so that it never feel like I'm talking. We are having a virtual session. So yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar Career Development in Social Sector. So, on behalf of Bhumi Organization and Bhumi Fellowship, I invite you all to this webinar. I request everyone to, come on the video and have a fruitful interaction with each other during the session. So before getting started with the session, would like to share some of the norms that we will be following in this session. Anika, can you please move on to the next slide? Yes. So norms are nothing but some practices that will help us communicate in this space today. So first one, it is nothing but stay engaged, which means keep your cameras on and participate actively. Thank you so much for everyone. Those videos are on already. And I request the remaining participants to come on video and unmute yourself and share if you need anything to discuss as well, and ask a lot of questions. You can use the chat box or you can raise your hands for queries as well. And I request you to mute when you are not speaking so that we can have a smoother communication with each other. We can minimize the background noise as well. Yeah. With that, let's start our today's webinar, Career Development in Social Sector. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome for today's webinar on career development in social sector. I am Nandana, Program Manager at the Bhumi Fellowship Program, and I'm delighted to be the host today. The social sector is full of opportunities and for those who want to build impactful careers while driving change. But what does it take to build sustainable, fulfilling journey in this space? That's exactly what we are here to explore today. We also hope this space inspire you to look into platforms like Bhumi Fellowship, a program that nurtures young leader to reimagine the education system, lead change from the ground itself. So it's my absolute pleasure to welcome our panelist, Mr. Niaz Ali, People and Culture Lead at Involve Learning Solution Foundation. Niaz brings years of experience in leadership, team development, and mentoring young professionals in the social sector. His work centers around building people, culture, and system that make organization thrive. I humbly request Mr. Niaz Ali to share a brief introduction about himself and the organization he is working with to get us started. Welcome, Niaz. We are thrilled to have you with us today. Over to you, Niaz.
Nandana, there is a small technical issue that Niaz was facing. He's just rejoining again.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Maybe you can have a quick check-in with the participants who are here. Maybe like
Sure,
a quick
sure.
check or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Sorry for this inconvenience from our side. So before getting Nias into this platform, would like to know how are you feeling now, and what is that one thing that you are looking forward to this session? Can we come in, unmute and share, or else you can also share it in the chat box. I'll type the question on the chat box. Hope you received the question on the chat box. Thank you. Thank you, Nagaraj, for getting us started. Waiting for others also to share. Thank you, Ashwati. Nice to hear that you're feeling good. Definitely, the session will help us to get to know more about what are the skills and mindset required for the social sector. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Ashwati. Yeah, I'm also feeling so good and grateful. Thank you so much for the question. And again, I'm just checking whether Nia is able to join or not.
No, he's just trying to join. There is some
Okay.
net issue from his end, but he is trying to join. He should be in now in some time.
Okay. Please let me know, Anaga, once he join.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Neeraj. Good evening.
Yes, Nandana, he's in. You can
Yeah.
start.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Those who are actively participate in the chat book itself. Hi, Kanmani. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences as well. So Niaz was just sharing about giving an introduction to towards the space today. So would like to introduce you to have a fruitful discussion with our audiences today as well. So I humbly request Niaz to share a brief introduction about yourself and the organization you are working with to the audiences. Please let us get started, Niaz. Welcome. We are thrilled to have you with us today, Niaz.
Hi.
Niaz, you are on mute.
Yes, I can hear. Yeah, I'm back here. And in case any network issue happen, because it's heavily raining here. So if any network issue happen, give me some time. I'll join back again. I'm sorry for keeping my video
Sure,
also
Niaz.
off.
No problem,
In
Niaz.
some way. Should we start or?
Yes, please. Let's start. Like, I would like to, I introduced you to the audiences. So would like to know about yourself more. So that can you please share about your personal journey, your experiences, with which organization you are working currently with the audience so that we can get started.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. So I currently work in Involved Learning Solutions Foundation. I lead the people and culture function there. So what we actually do there is we started working in basically literacy and numeracy around 8 years back. Started working with students directly, and slowly we started doing a model, a peer teaching model in school where the students mentor their peers, and from foundational literacy and numeracy, we slowly moved building age appropriate agency in students, where the students should be able to take their agency in their life. That's what the organization which I work do, and my role is majorly building the people and culture function there, like focusing on recruitment, hiring people, as well as ensuring the well-being of the people. That's what I broadly do. Before joining Involve, I was working in another organization, again taking in the people and culture. So I hope you understand this people and culture vertical. It's like normally called as HR in the industry, but we call it as people and culture because we believe that it's not just working with the human resources, or we cannot consider people as just as a resource, but we also need to consider them as people, their growth, their individuality, and all, and we call it as people and culture. Before that, I actually started my career as I'm working in Teach for India. Uh, I was doing fellowship there, which is like similar model to the Bhumi fellowship, where Bhumi take one school as a transformational unit, where they take one classroom as a transformational unit, like very majorly one of the difference if you see. So that's how my overall journey is. I think we can also go through the kind of questions that you have or what you really wanted to know from me.
Sure, Neha, sure. Thank you so much for getting us started. Now, let's start with your journey so far, Neha. Like, what inspired you to pursue a career in the social sector, and also, like, what continues to keep you motivated in this sector? While you also mentioned about that, like, you worked with Teach for India, then you transitioned into Involve Foundation as well. So, how does your journey inspired you so far?
So I think for everyone who work in the social impact sector, will have their own personal journeys, what actually impacted them. So for me, I actually I was doing my masters and graduation, which is entirely different from what I'm currently doing. I was working. I was like pursuing my graduation and masters in history and archaeology, which is very entirely different from this people and culture domain. When I was pursuing my masters there, I was also engaging with lots of social
Neha's just a heads up, like, we are not able to
uh,
listen to you properly.
one thing that always pushed me is the pain point that I came from a very stuck. If you can tell me where till where you heard, because I got disconnected for a while.
Yes, we're not able to hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I was telling like uh,
Yes, do you want to switch your place to somewhere? Like, we're not able to hear you. If you want, we can also wait for you. Anika,
I think he is disconnected, trying to join back again. Yeah, let's just wait back then.
meanwhile, I can share the link to the Bhumi Fellowship application open actually, like for 2026 cohort. So I can send the link in the chat box. So kindly take a minute to go through that. Thank you, Anika.
Also, time if participants have any questions about in the sector that they want to understand more or about Women Fellowship, I think that's something we can take in the chat box. Uh, in joining.
team, if you have any questions or doubts regarding Bhumi as an organization or Bhumi Fellowship, kindly take this time to, get clarified all of your doubts and get answered by your questions as well. So I have shared the link to register for Bhumi Fellowship 2026
Hear me
cohort.
again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Hi, Nias.
It's like heavily raining. Now the network is again better. We'll try to continue. I'm really sorry for all the participants here, but we'll again try.
No problem, Nias. No problem.
Cool. So I just continue from where I just stopped. I was telling like when I was pursuing my masters and all, I really wanted. So when I came from a village where the education is also very difficult to access, I really wanted to give back to the society where I really felt it. I wanted to work in the education sector, and somehow I entered to the impact sector. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Nias.
Yeah. So I think you can proceed with more things that you want to know from me.
Sure, Nias, sure. Like, can you also please share, was there any particular moment or project that made you feel, yes, this is where I belong? Like, especially when it comes to social sector, people always think that like it's a huge ocean. There are a lot of things to do and learn more. So, was there any particular moment in your life where you thought like, yes, this is where I belong? Can you also please share a few things about
So
that?
one thing when we work in the social impact sector is that the problems that exist is very broad. So if we just go out, we can see like 100 organization working in 100 different problems. So one thing we always like I always say is when we understand our pain point and we identify what exactly we wanted to do there, that is the moment where we feel okay, this is okay. I think even Bhumi also have a project like iCube or something. If I also don't have much idea about that, but where the fellows design their own projects, what they wanted to do, identifying a problem statement and working towards that. So most of the fellowship have such models similar to Bhumi, where fellows identify a problem statement and they define a solution for that, like follow a logic framework and implement a program at the scale which they wanted to do. So I also had similar moments when I was in Chennai when I started my initial career, when I was working in classrooms where I was doing the peer teaching model in classroom. There were students from Bihar and UP studying in Chennai who don't know this Tamil language, and for 10th standard they need to know Tamil. So I was doing a peer teaching model in my classroom where the Tamil students mentor their peers who are from Bihar and UP who migrated, and they actually spend time in learning the languages. So I completed I left organization role and I started working in another organization. After a few years, I got a message, sir, I passed 10th exam. I passed Tamil exam from the students, where I felt okay. Some spark we made in the classroom where we see the impact after a few years.
That was really beautiful to hear. Like, we are doing a small things, but that can create a huge impact in the with the children that we are working with. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. With that, like we'll go to the next segment. Basically, it's like skills and leadership. So one in the chat box, Ashwati also asked about like what are some skills and mindsets that people need to work or to be entered in the social sector field. Like, can you please mention about what are something the skills or mindset to be needed, especially in the social sector?
Cool. Very important, very relevant question. So I would always say it's all about the alignment. Like for example, there will be hundreds of openings in this impact sector. If you open any website, you just open Boomi website or Involve website, the career page, you can see hundreds of lot of openings you can see there. Now for each role, if you just scroll, you can see responsibilities mentioned. So if you find 5 responsibilities or 6 responsibilities that you want to do in that role, you need to decode from the responsibilities to perform these responsibilities. What are the skill set required? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Niyas.
Yeah. So you need to decode from the responsibilities what are the skills that required. Now each skills will be at different levels. For example, uh, if you look at a JD, maybe if you are finding it like implementing certain XYZ thing, where implementation is a skill, and implementation skill also can be at different levels. Someone can tell that I learned a course on program management, so I'm very confident in implementing programs. Or someone else can say I did a fellowship, I implemented a program in a classroom. Or another person can tell that I implemented a program in 10 different schools. Or someone can tell I implemented a program at a very larger scale with one district education officers. Each are very different. Now you also need to decode from the JD which level actually the organization is looking, which level of skill set. And then you need to reflect yourself. Do you actually have this particular skill set at the level where you are? Now, how you actually communicate this to the recruiter that you have this skill at the level that you are looking for. One thing very important. Secondly, like involve have its own vision, its own values. Bhumi have its own core values. In this organization have their own long-term goals, what they want to achieve and all. Now you also see uh, the vibe of the organization or the culture of the organization is actually aligning with what you are. Will you actually fit in the organization? So for me, I'm in recruitment for the last 5 years around. So what I always look is if the person come with right attitude and the learnability, even if they don't come with the right skill set required, but come with that learnability and willingness to learn. Skills we still compromise because we also believe that skills can be something that we can train, but values and attitude and learnability are something that very difficult to train. So this is something that we always look. I think I also want Nandana to talk about the like I don't know what exactly it is, like the IQ project or something that Bhumi fellows do, where they identify a program like a problem, then they define their own solution, they implement it and all. I think the leadership ability and all, how Bhumi as an organization build that in the fellows, I think that also helps.
Thank you so much for bringing up IQ project, Nias. Like IQ project is nothing but every year two fellows in their second year of fellowship will develop a 15-month project-based learning. So that is basically a project. So they'll be identifying the striking problems in their school or the community that they are working with, and they'll be designing solutions which will directly impact the students, teachers, or communities that our fellows are working with. So to improve the scalability or the impact of the project that our fellows are doing inside the classroom with the school or the community, the program team or the organization will also support the fellows through guiding them how to, network their project to the other people, or helping them for fundraising, etc. And we are having mid fellowship fund support as well, which is called seed fund. So the best excellent 10 projects will get the financial support from the organization as well. So through the project implementation, through participating in the IQ project, the fellows will also get the skills like project implementation, networking, and they will get mentorship from leaders from various social sectors as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Nias, for bringing this as well. So
Cool. Sorry, some question came or yeah. So I'll tell you why I requested to tell about the project also. Because see, there is a huge misconception about like how to enter to the impact sector, especially when we look at the fellowship. So each fellowship have one focus area. So there is a misconception usually we see is that okay, Bhumi fellowship, it's like working in classroom teaching, or like any fellowship. So the long-term career that can build through a fellowship, there is a misconception usually in the like people who really wanted to enter to the sector, like when I do a fellowship, I'll be ending up teaching. So I hope like you also got an understanding when Nandana said like people will be working on project. They'll be even doing their fundraising for the project. They'll be even if they need a manpower for that particular project, they'll be bringing that. Or even if someone need like you can see the logic framework going there, which means the fellowship when you do a fellowship actually it will give you an entry to the impact sector at a very diverse domain. So I also see like if someone did a fellowship, can also go to fundraising after the fellowship, or even go to program implementation after this fellowship.
Thank you, Niaz. Niaz, we have a question in the chat box. Like, what advice would you give to professionals who want to grow from field roles to leadership roles?
Very important question. So one thing I always tell is we need to look at the role which we are doing beyond the task or beyond seeing this just as a responsibilities. We also need to see how we can own the entire vertical which you are doing. Uh, for example, we have a person recently, like I think 4 years back, joined in Involve as an operations as a research lead. Just started like setting up the research vertical. Now she is one of the member in the core leadership team of Involve. So every time we'll have responsibilities, like we'll have OKR, certain things that we need to do. If we just go and end up doing that things, even at whatever perfection we are building, we'll be just a task doer. Instead, if you understand the overall how it is connected with the larger organization vision, or how you can bring more and more ownership in the role, which will actually what we say bring the growth in the role. I hope I answered your question. If you have any more question on that.
Hope it clarified, Diana. Yeah. So with that, let's move on to the next segment, like fellowship and career growth. So fellowship have become a great entry point for young people in the social sector. So you have also done Teach for India fellowship, and we are having Bhumi fellowship as well. So from your perspective, Niaz, how do programs like Bhumi fellowship help young professional to gain practical experience and confidence?
Cool. I think some part of this question we already answered. So one thing is that, so if you suppose you did your studies in one particular domain, your career will restrict in that particular domain in most of the cases. But when you enter a fellowship, even if you just take an example of Bhumi fellowship, you are engaging with a lot of things. You are working in classroom, you may be working on like literacy and numeracy. You are taking one school as a transformational unit where the other like teachers and fellows, you are bringing the stakeholder engagement skills there. And if you are doing a like project or something, you are doing fundraising there, you are doing manpower there. So you have the opportunity to engage with hundreds of things. Now if you're able to identify what you want to do after the fellowship, or which area you want to build your career, you can actually focus on that in your fellowship and build your career. I don't know how much like flexibility there in each fellowship, but this is in general how it works. And for me also, I'll tell you, when I started my fellowship in Teach for India, of course I was working in classroom and all. In second year I was doing fellowship recruitment team. I was part of fellowship recruitment team. I was just recruiting fellows for the organization. That gave me an entry to recruitment as a domain, and from recruitment to larger people and culture domain. So there is a journey you can see. So it give like it expand, it diversify the areas which you want to work, and you can experiment everything. Suppose you did a project, it was completely failure, you couldn't meet the impact. There is nothing wrong going to happen from my understanding. Still you will be gaining certain experiences in that particular domain. You can also experiment, is that something that you really enjoy or not. So that diversity will be there in the fellowship. And one thing, when you look at any fellowship, there are again hundreds of fellowships in India. Like every organizations are running fellowship. The crux of the fellowship will be similar. Like there will be one problem and the fellowship will be addressing that problem, will be one part of the fellowship. Second will be building the leaders towards that. If you look at any fellowship, maybe some fellowship will be working in education, some will be working in some other vertical, but overall the crux you can see almost similar.
Beautifully stated, Niyas. So, in my experiences as well with Bhumi Fellowship, I also identified that fellowship is something that we are getting an opportunity to create what we want to contribute to the sector itself. Somebody want to contribute to the education system or any other social sector in the way of like being a curriculum designer, want to be in the policy or governance sector, or want to be a mentor or coach. So throughout the 2 years of fellowship, you will get a lot of mentoring, networking from a lot of people who is really qualified and skilled, so that we can develop ourselves in the way we want to contribute to the sector itself. Thank you so much, Niyas, for sharing those aspects as well. So for someone who is unsure about committing to a fellowship, what advice would you give them to make most out of such opportunities, Niyas?
Cool. Before I come to that question, I just wanted to want to add one more thing from the last question. When you enter your fellowship, another misconception usually I have seen in the candidate that I interviewed and all is fellowship will give you an entry to the impact sector only. Again, it's also a misconception. I don't know if that is something that we are also looking for, but just bringing that the transferable skills that you gain will be something that helpful for you to engage or to enter into any sector, even if it is a for-profit sector also. I know fellows from different fellowship working in KPMG and other big corporate companies as well. Cool. Coming to your question, if you can repeat the question, sorry. You're on mute.
Thank you, Niyaz. Like some people are very unsure about committing to a fellowship. Like it's 2 year, what I'm going to do. They will be having a lot of doubts and questions. So, what advice will you give to those people who are very unsure about committing to a fellowship?
I'll tell you a personal experience. Then I'll come to the answer for this. Around, I think 3-4 years back. So one of my friend was working as a program manager in Bhumi. I don't know if he's still in Bhumi. So we were recommending people to like the graduates and all to join different fellowship, and we are referring Bhumi, Fish for India. I think that time Azim Premji was also running a fellowship. Now they are stopped running the fellowship. Gandhi fellowship was there, a different fellowship, and most of the people usually tell, "Hey, Niyas, like it's look like very interesting opportunity, but it's 2 years. Now after 2 years, I need to search for jobs. What if after 2 years I'm not getting any job? Again, I'll be becoming jobless. I'll just need only full-time job where I don't need to complete this fellowship and again searching for jobs and all." And most of the people, when I like in our personal network who don't know about the fellowship, usually tell this only when we recommend the fellowship. A few people accepted different fellowship opportunities, and I'll tell you what happened. So the people who were very concerned about what they'll do after 2 years and they want to get into full-time job itself, after 2 years when these other people completed the fellowship, they are still looking for this full-time opportunities. Guys, the sector is like very competitive and getting a job is very difficult. But what happened is the fellows, they the kind of experience that they got from the fellowship, they got good opportunities after the fellowship. And the people who really wanted to engage in full-time role and they don't want to choose the fellowship, they were still searching. And after 2 years, when they started asking me, yes, now can I apply for the fellowship? Of course, you can apply anytime. I think there is no age restriction. But this realization usually come, and there is a fear that should I actually commit this 2 years? So one thing that I always tell is you look at the alumni network and the network that the organization have. Any fellowship that you're choosing, like most of the organization will give you. So the one is the kind of experience that you get, the networks that you will be building, the people that you are connecting in the sector, and the brand value of this fellowship and all will give you actually a good entry to this, what we say, impact sector or any role. So it will be worth if you engage, but only thing is that you need to engage the fellowship as an experience that you really wanted to do. I also have seen people who join the fellowship. Again, there'll be responsibilities mentioned. They'll just go do that, finish, come back. Again, they'll also struggle in getting a job after. It's actually a space where you can experimenting, you can build your experiences, and you really want to invest your 2 years. It will be worth.
Thank you. Thank you, Nias, for sharing. Like team, let's pause here. If you have any question, let's take that and we'll move on to the next segment, career strategies and opportunities. Let's take 2 minutes time. If you have any questions, you can use chat box or you can ask Nias directly. Yes.
Please explain the financial benefits while engaging in such fellowship. It depends on each fellowship, but I will tell you. Uh, any like I saw the advertisement of Bhumi Fellowship, the stipend that they give. Uh, so so it will be like an entry level, like when you're entering to a job after your studies and all, the fellowship stipend will not be too much less for you to engage. Like they will give like a stipend which you can actually sustain with. Bhumi stipend benefits that Bhumi provides, you can give, but most of the fellowship will give you the financial support during the fellowship time that you will be doing. It's not like, again it's another misconception that in this impact sector we are doing just we are helping poor, we are doing charity, we are doing this, we are doing that, and there's no financial benefits XYZ and all. That's also not true. The sector also pay, but not as much as the corporate do. Uh, but the sector also will pay you.
Hope the answer is clear, Anjana. Do you have any follow-up question?
Hi, my name is Janani. I have a query. I have tried multiple times applying for the fellowship or even in the internship, but I'm not getting a response. So I don't know how to proceed ahead. Sometimes it is sometimes it's like the scenario is like this. I mean, the initial meeting is getting scheduled, then later which it is getting cancelled, and it has not been rescheduled. So in such cases, how to proceed ahead?
Janani, are you talking about Bhumi Fellowship or can you please specify which fellowship program you have applied?
It's Bhumi Fellowship only. I remember.
Okay, thank you. Like Anaga will take you to that. Yeah, Anaga,
Yeah.
please.
Thanks, Janani, for the question. We'd also like to understand what was at which stage you had mentioned, right? It was also internship and fellowship, and what stage. So, if you can write to us, this will help us to understand which stage specifically you can mention about which stage you were in, and which was this an internship or was this a fellowship? So, we would request you to send an email. I'll send the email ID to you. So you can send an email to that and we can get to it. Thanks, Janani.
Thank you.
Anaga, there is one more question shared by Anand too. Like, can you explain about application process? Would you like to take this here or maybe after some time?
I can take it here. This might be something that others also might be thinking about. I have shared the registration link. So through this link, you can register, which will take your name, your email ID, and contact number, which helps us to contact you later. So once this registration is done, you'll be getting a link to application form in the email ID. So you can click on that, and it will have a series of questions, some based on your basic biodata kind of questions, some based on your previous experience or previous education, and some based on the why do you want to apply to the fellowship and what is something you see for yourself. So upon that registration, upon that successful completion of application form, there will be a shortlisting. Once if you get shortlisted to the next round, you will be having a short video submission as well. Once that is done, then there will be a session of group discussion. There will be a session of you doing a demo class of teaching. After that round is done, then there will be a part where there will be an interview with one of our team members. Upon all these completion, about 4 stages, then your confirmation for the selection will be shared on email. So if there is any specific questions on application also, or if you're struggling with any application issues, please do write to us. So then we can take it up specifically for case by case basis.
Thank you, Anaka, for sharing those aspects as well. So team, we'll move on to the next 2 sets of questions. After that, we will take the questions from the audience side as well. I think that works. So Nias, coming back to you, like when people think of social sector, our understanding will only limited to teaching or non-governmental organization only. So based on your experiences as well, can you please share about what kinds of career path or domains exist in social sector beyond teaching or only NGO works?
Cool. So one thing we also want to understand is social sector is not limited to the education sector. For example, like we know a lot of organizations working in the education sector, but at the same time, like we can see organizations working in the health domain. We have organizations working in the like urban development or social equity, or we can see working in livelihood, and well, there will be organization that's working in like if you look at certain organization, they'll be working in multiple domains. So sustainability or environment or livelihood or even social equity or even like rural development or urban development, health, welfare. So there are very wide range of sectors within this like social impact sector itself. Now in each there'll be so one thing, there'll be a lot of transferable skills. So we also hired people who worked in the health domain for long and wanted to work in the education sector. If you just open my organization's career page, in the any job application, there'll be one question: if you are transitioning to education sector, why? Because there'll be people who work 10 years in the health sector and they want to work in education, and there'll be certain transferable skill which they have used in health, which they can use in a different way in the like education sector. For example, someone who worked in the placement team for an organization, I will recruit them for a recruitment team, because recruitment and placement are 2 different things, but the skills that they might have used in placement will be similar, or like some amount of that will be similar in the recruitment. So there'll be transferable skills, and it's not limited to education. If you just Google it, you can see like 100 organizations working in 100 different domains.
Yeah, then also would like to know more about networking and mentorship, Nias. Like, can you also please explain how important are mentorship and networking in advancing a career in social sector, and how can people approach it effectively?
See, one thing very important is very structured thinking. So when there is a problem, we can just approach it in a very random way. Also, we can approach it as a sustainable solution. And this structured thinking will come from 2 different ways. One is when we actually engage very scientifically to the problem. Secondly, when we get very good mentorship, feedbacks, self-reflection, and when we work on that. So then we'll have a very structured thinking and process towards solving a problem. That is where we also get converted from a stage where we are just doing random responsibilities to a person who leads solution, with manpowers or with other resources. So that's where the role of mentorship come. And mentorship is not just getting some external mentorship or network. It's also about how we reflect, how we approach, as well as how we get external expertise to bring the structured thinking. So I think again, I want to connect this also with a fellowship where we get all these things together. We'll be engaging with problems. We'll be getting like external like mentorship as well towards the work that we are doing. Another thing is networking. So even like when you engage in a larger problems and all, there will be people who are not your mentors, but you just know them. They just know you. Building that network also help you actually when you uh, like that help you to gain more understanding about different organization, what they do, or different people, different sectors in that different domains, how each things works. So your knowledge level also will get increased. That also will diversify again.
Thank you so much, Nias, for sharing that aspect as well. So going to the final segment of today's session, that is discussing more about the challenges and sustainability when it comes to social sector. So you already shared, Nias, like some misconception regarding social sector when somebody want to enter into this field. Can you also elaborate more, or can you also share what are some other misconception about building a career in social sector? In the chat box, some people are also mentioning about the financial instabilities as well. So can you take us more about exploring this aspect as well? Yes.
Cool. So one thing is, of course, when we look at social sector, usually there is a misconception that social sector will not pay much. But I think the program managers of these, like most of the organization, their salary is almost similar to the government school teacher salary, if I'm not wrong. Of course, the fellowship salary is not, stipend is very different. I'm telling like, but you can also see the salary scale of the government system and most of the like organization at or mid or larger scale is similar. So there is a financial like that part is one of the misconception. But I also want to tell that uh, social impact sector salary is not similar to the corporate. When you compare to the corporate, it will be very, very, very less. Less in the sense the entire social sector works mostly with the CSR, which is just 2% of the corporate income, like the profit and all. So that difference will be there. So, for example, when a communications or branding manager is getting 20 LPA or 30 LPA from a corporate, they might get 15 LPA or 10 LPA in a non-profit. That difference will always be there. So that is one aspect. Another is, it is, see, I always feel like people come it as a like charity kind of thing. We are doing charity kind of thing, but it's not that. There are organizations who work on system change, working with the government directly, supporting the government to implement the programs and all. The level of impact that you can create will be very, very huge. That is one aspect, but at the same time, there are a lot of other challenges also in this sector. Because if your focus is building more and more financial thing, maybe like as I said, like corporate can bring you more financial support than what most of the NGOs do. But otherwise, I think this sector is also very amazingly working. Few challenges will be there. There are organizations struggling with financial what we say, the funding and all. That challenges will definitely will be there. So when you choose an organization, you need to also choose very wisely. You need to research about the organization, how they are getting funding, or how they are working, how long they are working. You also need to see their leaders, their personal brand of those leaders, how long they are working, all these things. Then you can also build a like stable career in this sector.
Thank you, Niaz, for sharing this aspect as well. So you also mentioned about like there will be a lot of challenges while working with social sector. Then it's true. So would like to know how do you maintain that motivation, like intrinsic and extrinsic motivation in you, and prevent burnout while creating impact in the community that you are working with. Would also like to know, are there any strategies that you are following on a regular basis?
So one thing is our understanding itself. So if you are looking for a 9 to 5 job, I'll come to office, I'll do a job, up at 5 I'll leave. I will tell you don't join. Even any this sector, any organization, you don't join. Or if you're looking at earning a lot of money, uh, then you don't join. This is a space where if you find yourself that there is a very strong pain point in you which you really wanted to work, and when you find an organization that exactly do what you wanted to do, when there is a proper alignment, then that motivates you. You know that you are working for an impact, and the smallest thing which you are doing creating an impact, that's where you can actually sustain in an organization or in this sector. And if your motivation is very different, very simple thing, don't join this sector. There are like 100 corporates hiring, uh, and corporates recruiters are struggling to find good candidates. Roles open, apply them, like you can get opportunities there. And if you really wanted to work in impact, because it's not easy to be in impact sector, because there'll be lot, for example, if an organization working uh, with the government system, in a program, suddenly any policy level changes happen, entire thing which the organization work need to rework. Or even if a funder which promised for a funding and certain changes happen to that company, again we need to rework our uh, annual plan which we made. So there are a lot of situations where we really need to rework. Also there are 100 organizations working the same problem itself. So how we actually bring our unique elements there, all this aspect there. This is the sector for those people who really wanted to work to create changes. But you will enjoy in the sense you will find a lot of fun when you see. So as I said, like when I got the message, sir, I passed my 10th exam, that's enough for me. So you will get a lot of what we say, satisfaction in your life. There'll be some days where you will not be able to count the number of challenges that you faced in the same day, but end of the day when you go to sleep, you will sleep with the satisfaction that this happened today, or you learned this today, or you have seen this happening today. So that satisfaction always motivates you. But I also don't want to sugarcoat that it will be just fun. It is not. There'll be challenges.
Thank you, Nias. Like adding on to that, when it comes to a fellowship scenario, most of the time we will think that like, I don't have any support system. If I'm placed in a school or community, I need to solve things by my own, and it's a misconception. When it comes to fellowship, like you will get a lot of mentoring and support from the organization side itself. Like there will be a great program team to support you with all the challenges that you are going through. They will be giving you a lot of training and developmental sessions as well to develop your personal and professional way as well. So when it comes to fellowship, it's like you are surrounded with a lot of like-minded people who are ready to support with each other to have that impact in the community as well. So fellowship always welcomes you irrespective of challenges. At the end of the day, it is how much support you got to sustain in this field to have that impact. Thank you so much, Nias, for all your insights as well. So now let's take a pause here.
Just
Like,
wanted to add one more thing here.
yeah,
So, of course, Nandan also said there'll be a lot of support system. Uh, so one thing, when you face a challenge, that challenge will be your selling point after the fellowship. I'll tell you what happened when I was doing my fellowship. Uh, there are some changes happen in the school system, and the HM said, "Okay, we don't need the fellows from now." Then it immediately became we don't have classrooms, because the HM said, okay, we have enough government teachers, we have the plan, we don't need you. Now for me, I took around 1 month to convince the HM that what exactly we will be doing in a classroom, which is very unique, which is impactful. For a month, convincing her, and next is showing this impact to the HM that okay, we did this. So when I did this, what exactly happened is, for me, I was able to showcase that I have the like stakeholder management skill where I can convince people. Also, I have that skill to implement and document the program and actually like convince a person. This actually the amount of challenge that I faced actually became my personal selling point, helping me to enter to different job during the interview. This happened, and we resolved this way, which is again becoming a like. Of course, this will bring you a certain skill set. All the challenges, if you take the challenge, it will give you a skill set, and that will help you to grow in your career.
Yeah, it's always like challenge the challenges you are facing. Thank you, Niaz, for sharing. Yeah, with that, like let's pause here. If you have any questions from the audience side, let's take that as well. Like Niaz, Anaka, or I can take up those questions. We will have 2 more minutes to before winding up the session. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or else use the chat box as well. Like in the meantime, like if you find this space or the session resonates with you or give you a spark in your life, please try, kindly apply for Bhumi Fellowship 2026 cohort. Its application is live now. The link Anaga and myself has been shared. So I'm sharing it again so that you can go through that. Please follow our social media pages as well and get updated with all the informations and update regarding Bhumi as an organization and a fellowship. Like Bhumi is not only limited to fellowship, there are other opportunities as well, like volunteering. Bhumi is very famous for volunteering opportunities. So please feel free to go through our social media pages and fellowship ID as well. Thank you. So I hope there is no question from the audience side as well. No, I would like to thank Niaz for his valuable time and all the insight he has shared with us so far. And I would like to extend my gratitude to all the participants who have joined on time, actively participated in the session throughout the session by keeping your videos on or asking a lot of questions in the chat box as well. Thank you so much for that. Again, I request you to go through our social media pages as well. And once again, thank you, Niaz, for all your time and insight. Wishing everyone a beautiful weekend and happy Diwali. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Also, I'm sorry for this all like things happen because of this heavy rain here, lightning and all, and I couldn't join on time, and I couldn't keep my video on also still because there is no electricity here. It's all gone. I somehow tried to manage, and I'm so sorry for all this.
No, Nia, thank you so much for taking that risk and join. Thank you. Yeah, like your words inspired us. The way you shared your experiences as well most of the people can resonate with as well. Thank you so much for all your valuable time and insight, Nias. Thank you, everyone.